From today onwards, ramping up. No time to rest. You can rest after 20th. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Even on a scholarly level, we saw in the 6th verse, there are rules of engagement to separate the person from the beliefs and not engage in the vilification of the person. And even the beliefs, from the standpoint of Vedanta, whatever one believes is what? The belief is the capacity to believe is Brahman. The belief is also permitted by Bhagavan, so there also it is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. So why do I want to get a headache trying to counter that? If I counter the beliefs, it is for my own growth. I do that. And that's what we do with Purva Paksha Siddhanta. So we do that for our own establishing ourselves in the knowledge, and we have talked about that Nyaya. What is that Nyaya? Sthanu Nikandana Nyaya. Firming up our own knowledge. We are not interested in deriding other people. We critique the beliefs, not the person. We critique the belief. Why? So that we can become more established in our own understanding, a deeper immersion and understanding into the Shastra, so that we separate and see how this is different, which is very important. Otherwise, it all sounds the same. Vishishta, Dvaita, Dvaita, everything is the same. It's not. So we have to know what is the thing. And the Shastra itself respects Vishishta, Dvaita and Dvaita. The so-called, what is that called? Qualified dualism and dualism are very much respected by the Shastra. And all the people, the commentators, the original commentators, Madhvacharya and Ramanujacharya, they were not ordinary people, great rishis. That's why there is hermeneutical freedom to interpret in certain ways, so that as long as one is not murdering the Shruti. If you are not chopping up the Shruti into small bits and having no logic and murdering it, it's not allowed. But in keeping with the Shruti, if you can take out 3 streams of meaning, and if the Bhagavan is allowing that based on people's perception and various points of view, why should I be worried? And of course, one more thing was pointed out in the 6th verse is the practice of ahimsa, because when I don't make a separation between the people and their beliefs, what am I doing? I'm causing himsa. And then a life of himsa and a life of Vedanta, do they go together? No. Total incompatibility. Next verse. Padmadi saurabha iva brahmarasya harsham. Padmadi saurabha iva brahmarasya harsham. Hitvanyadiyasu gune punaranya doshe. Hitvanyadiyasu gune punaranya doshe. Harsho durartha iva geha kiteh kimaste. Harsho durartha iva geha kiteh kimaste. हामेकदेश कृपया विगलेत् स एषः हामेकदेश कृपया विगलेत् स एषः पद्मादिसौरभ इव भ्रमरस्य हर्षं हित्वान्यदीयसुगुणे न्यदोषे हर्षो दुरर्थ इव गेह किटे किमास्ते हामेकदेश कृपया विगलेत् स एषः. Very, for a change, we have a more or less straightforward verse for which we are thankful, and two examples are given. One is of the bee. So, Brahmara. What does the bee do? Sit on one flower, one lotus, another lotus, it keeps moving. It doesn't get stuck and it doesn't say, this is my lotus, I'm going to be here, all the other bees, be warned, beware, don't come near me. This is not what it does. It keeps moving. And then what does it do? What does it do with each flower, each Padmadi, other Padma and other flowers? What does it do? It takes their fragrance, it takes their nectar, it takes the essence. And so this is one option for us to learn, because everything is a teacher. Everything is a teacher, everyone is a teacher, and then Bhagavan Dattatreya had so many teachers. Every tree is a teacher. And if tree is a teacher, why not bee? Bee is also a teacher. And so here the bee is a teacher because it flits from flower to flower after taking only the good things from the flower. And similarly, when we move from people to people, this is what we should take. We should take what? The sugunas. The fragrance of the flower is equal to the suguna of the person, and the nectar of the flower is also equal to the good qualities of the person. Don't say, but this one doesn't have any good qualities. Then what we will have to do? Go back to first verse. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Somewhere, there will be a good quality. No, but I still can't see good qualities. Then what to do? Next life, you are getting ready to become what? A proofreader. You are going to be born as a proofreader if this particular habit is not kicked away. That is what happens. You will be ready to get born as what? Proofreader. Always looking for something missing. This is what the proofreader's job is. They are paid to find fault. And what are we doing? For free we are finding faults. Without getting paid, we are, at least the proofreader has has to make a living. And here I don't have to make a living after noticing that, here is a double word, here is, the parenthesis use is wrong, M dash, this is a big discussion. What is the difference between M dash and N dash? And so this is what the preoccupation is for the proofreader. Proofreader has this kind of preoccupation. Why? Because that is how it is. That is the job. And here, is it our job to cross out every T and every I and edit other people's lives and other people's speech and other people's behavior and other people's qualities? Not at all. But still we are doing for free. We are working overtime for free without getting paid. Think about it. Nobody is giving you money to find faults, but still we are doing it. And so, take the bee as the teacher. Be like the bee. What does the bee do? The bee takes the saurabha. Surabhihi, saurabham. So Saurabha is that which is come from the Surabhi. So that which comes from the Surabhi means fragrance. That which is which is bhavam, which has come from the fragrance, Saurabham. So then what is that? That which occurs in the fragrance, the nectar of the flower, etc. Saurabh. So Padmadi Saurabhe. So what happened to that A? Printing mistake? Yes. Okay. So that A is gone because it is followed by Iva. So Padmadi Saurabhe. So in this nectar, Saurabha, in the nectar of what? Padmadi, of various flowers, such as the lotus, etc. Brahmarasya harsham. Harsha means delight. So the bee's delight is evident in the way that it goes from flower to flower, takes what it needs, and then how do you notice its happiness? It rubs its back legs together, it will be rubbing if you observe the bee. And that's when we say the bee is very happy because it feels safe. It doesn't need to immediately fly away. It feels safe, it sits there and rubs the legs and then takes whatever it needs. It takes the pollen, and it takes the pollen by accident. It is not taking the pollens of the flower. That is how it allows the plants to reproduce. And then what does it do? It just blesses the flower with its presence and then goes away. It delights in the nectar of the flowers. That much is our example. It delights in the flowers' fragrance and nectar. It is attracted to what? The nectar and the fragrance. So that's why the flower has fragrance, because it is a way of the flower to make sure that it lives, make sure it continues, make sure it's santati. Santati means what? The rest of the generations continue. How? To make itself very attractive. So it will have color, it will have fragrance, and each flower will compete with the other. I am better looking than this one, don't go there, come here. And so the bees get attracted to the flowers because of the fragrance, and then they drink deeply of the nectar and become happy. So similarly, Padmadi Saurabhe iva anyadiya sugune harsham. Brahmarasya harsham iva. So this is how it will be. Padmadi Saurabhe, in the nectar of the lotus, etc. Brahmarasya harsham, the delight of the bee is like what? Anyadiya sugune harsham iva. Do you understand now? So what is the comparison? There is a simile here. What is the simile? Like even the bees delight in seeing the what is that called? The nectar. In taking the nectar of the flower, the bee's delight is evident. In the same way, what do I do? Anyadiya, belonging to somebody else. Anyadiya sugune, the good qualities belonging to someone else. Mama, we have to add. My harsha is also there. My delight, my ananda is also there. I delight in the other people's good qualities. But I don't want to delight in them. How to delight? You have to Ishwaraize. That's the only way. You have to Ishwaraize other people's qualities, and when you Ishwaraize other people's qualities, what happens? Then you see Ishvara in their qualities. But why Ishvara gave them that quality and did not give me that quality? So the harsha turns into what? Shoka immediately. And so what to do here? We will discuss that after seeing the translation. There is a upaya for that also. But this shoka has to be converted to harsha, first relatively, and then after that absolutely. How to absolutely convert Shoka into Harsha is to see that everything is Atma, Sarvatma Bhava, for which what? I need to be enlightened. That's the only way, ultimately. How else are you going to do that? And then here, this involves dropping a spirit of competition. That is very difficult to do. People say that there is healthy competition. Healthy competition among children is very good. Everybody should compete. But we don't say that. Shastrically speaking, we don't say competition is healthy at all, because in the ancient Indian society was a society and a culture of zero competition. And later on, what happened to it? It became defunct. That system became defunct because of the abuse of power and privilege by a small group of people. But before, there was no, the Varna system was, we must not call it caste. We have to cast out that term, it's a British invention. But what do we have to say? It is, I'm not advocating for that Varna system. It is extremely oppressive, and it is better that it is defunct, it is better that it is outlawed. But I'm just looking into the origins of it and the thinking behind it. Because in the previous days it wasn't like that at all. There was a lot of lateral movement. So Brahmana could take up what? Even the work of a Kshatriya. This we see in the Mahabharata. Dronacharya was what? Brahmana. Dronacharya was a Brahmana. What did he do? Yeah, he became what? Kshatriya. He started to teach archery. This was possible. And we see lot of rishis who from groups of people who were not supposed to be rishis, revered as gods in South Indian temples. Nayanmars, we see so many of them. Each one with a history, each enlightened rishi is revered. You'll see statues for all of them. And so like this, this system, when it was formed earlier, was not based on birth. It was based on the occupation that you did and also one's own capacity. It was based on capacity and occupation. That's why the lateral movement was possible, desirable, everything. And so here what has happened is that then later on it got hardened because of so many reasons, usually because of society became more and more patriarchal, and a few people abused the system to be more and more powerful. This is what happened. So in the beginning, what would be there? Your livelihood was assured. You did what your family did. In fact, this is not specific to India. Even in England, it was the same. Before the Industrial Revolution in Europe, in England, in so many places, it was the same. Your family cut the hair of the sheep and gathered the wool. What did you do? You also grew up to become a shearer. And then you also would do that. Somebody else would spin the wool, and then it went down to the family. Blacksmith, and then baker. All these things, all these occupations. So one was if you were the child of the baker, you became a baker and then married another child of another baker. This is how it became. So that why? Because when you are not frantically looking for a livelihood, how to fill the stomach, if you are not looking for, that time is spent how? Looking for moksha, pursuing moksha. This is very important. This was a zero competition society. And now it is the whole India has been thrust into a very competitive world, and we are still getting over it. We still don't know how to be in the competitive world. The worst in us comes out, actually, as is seen in how we grab things and how we don't know how to wait for others. We don't know, because we never had to wait in the past, because everything was already assured, and so therefore this competitiveness has actually all over the world has been a great pratibandha for this knowledge. Why? Because I regret that whatever I want is in the other person. I don't just regret, I have jealousy. I have jealousy because I don't have what that other person has, and that quality I cannot appreciate, because why? I want it for myself and I can't get it for myself. And the best way to overcome the jealousy is to Ishwarize that. Two ways are given in the Shastra. First, even though you don't feel like appreciating somebody, you have to appreciate. I love this thing about you. You appreciate with closed fists and gritted teeth. Yes, very nice, very nice. Yeah. And then slowly the teeth will part. Slowly, because that is your true nature, is to be a non-demanding, appreciative person. That is you. And so when you are appreciative, you are being as close to Satchidananda as possible. Very close you are being to Satchidananda, and so therefore this is not to be missed, this opportunity. So you appreciate the other person, and in so doing, the jealousy takes a back seat, it just goes away and does not disturb. Then of course the ultimate way is to see that every quality that is in everybody is where? In you. Why? Because you are everything, you are everybody. So if somebody has this particular quality, then there is no need to feel bad, because as Atma, they are non-separate from you. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa got this teaching in a very interesting way. He had throat cancer towards the last portion of his life, and then was feeling very bad. Could not eat, could not drink, some just, what is that called? Kanji, gruel. Some rice gruel is all he could down. Towards the end of his days, was in bad shape. And then to put salt on this wound, there was a big festival, Navaratri at the ashram. And then 2,000 people were going to come. And then if 2,000 people are going to come, how many puris you have to make? 8,000 puris, minimum 4 each person. So 8,000 puris were being made, and then a whole drum full of halwa was being made. Where? Where was his bedroom? Right next to the kitchen. Okay? And he was smelling all these wonderful smells and feeling very sorry for himself, and he is said to have cried out, "Oh mother, why do you torment me so? All these people can eat, I can't eat anything." And then it was as though the mother hit him on the head softly, okay, and said, "Idiot, Murkha, you are eating through 2,000 mouths. Don't you see that? You're eating through so many mouths. What are you complaining about?" And then, he understood completely. He got out of that feeling immediately. So therefore, here the idea is to be in an appreciative state. Even if it takes effort, even if you don't feel like appreciating someone, that day make a note to appreciate them. Definitely. And you can, but I may not be meaning it, I don't mean it, doesn't matter. Cross your fingers and put it in the back and say how wonderful you are. Of course you mean it. You don't know you mean it, that's all. You don't know that you mean it, that's your problem. You mean it. Because you means what? Satchidanandam Brahma, that doesn't compete with anybody. Why does Satchidanandam Brahma not compete with anybody? Huh? There is nobody else to compete with. This is where we have to go ultimately. So this is two options are there. In the meanwhile, we can make the bee the teacher, make the bee be our teacher, and then collect the nectar of everyone's good qualities. Learn from them. See how they move. See the grace with which they move. See what they do. So usually, what does the proofreader do? Guneshu dosha darshanam, means in and through the qualities, what will the proofreader see? Only problems. Only problems they will see. You give them this 500-page book and they will see only problems. What did you like about the book? I don't know, I didn't read. I was only looking for what? Faults. Nothing they read will register because they are solely focused on faults. And so we have to flip that and say, dosheshu, what? Guna darshanam. In and through whatever I think are people's faults, let me see only the good. Only the good I have to see, nothing else I can see. I have to see only the best in everybody, and that includes what? Everybody includes me or not? Including myself, I have to see the best in everybody. And then, otherwise, what's the other option? Punaha anya doshe harshaha. So you can have anyadiya sugune harshaha, or punaha further, or by contrast, you can have anya doshe harshaha. Two options are there. Either you delight in the what? In the gunas of others, or you delight in the doshas of others. Aha, I knew that this quality would lead to their downfall, and here they go. Ha ha ha, let me take a video and record. Let me see them like this. Oh, what joy, what fun. And then what? I will not just take the video of them in a very difficult, deena, helpless situation, and then what do? And then one more button I have to press. What happens then? Yes, share on this so-called social media. It's actually very anti-social, but nonetheless, so-called social media. It goes on something, what is that? Instagram, and then Facebook. And then what you can't tell on people's faces, you put in Facebook. That is why it's called Facebook. And then Facebook. And then what is that? What used to be Twitter, now it is called something else. X. Yeah. That Elon named it after his son, who is also called X. Why? Don't ask, okay? That is beyond the scope of this discussion. Yeah. So you put it everywhere, and then keep looking at the updates. Did it go viral? Is it trending? Is it going viral? And then delight, this post, this criticism about this person, and then went viral. If you just put something about, somebody, then that nobody knows, it won't go viral. But here, if it's a celebrity, if it is somebody well known, and then what happens? They slip and fall. Oh, huge thing. And then it goes viral. So, two options are there. Delight in their gunas of other people, or delight in what? Doshas. So, if you delight in the gunas, you are like a bee. If you delight in the doshas, you are like a pig. I am not saying, he is saying. Yeah. Pig. A domestic pig, which is called geha kitty. Kitty doesn't mean kitty. Okay, that's different. That means a colloquial way of saying cat. Geha kitty. Kitty means hog, pig. Geha means domesticated pig, which is around everywhere. So earlier, even about, when I first came to Rishikesh, that time this whole place, now you see all temples were there, but now you see restaurants and roads and everything. So before there were only pigs. Everywhere you went, there were pigs. A piggy here and a piggy there. Everywhere, pig, pig, pig. All sizes of pigs were there. And then, if pigs are there, what else is there? Sludge, stagnant water, full of all kinds of dirt, grime, slime is there. Slime and grime goes with the pig. Why? Because they like to roll in it. They like to roll in it. So, if one is, and they look delighted, they don't look oppressed, because nobody is putting them in this, throwing them in the stagnant water. How are they going? They are going by themselves. Uninvited, they are going by themselves. Nobody is pushing them. They are going by themselves, and from their demeanor, and you can see that they are reveling in it. They are reveling in the slime and the grime. And seeing them, you feel like backtracking. Ay, okay, stay there, don't come after me now. This is what it is. And then sometimes, not in India, but in Western countries, people keep pig as a pet. A special kind of pig comes, small one. Apparently you can train it to use the toilet. Why, I don't know, but anyhow. And then so that they don't dirty the house. And then you can keep them just like you keep dog and cat. What is it called? Pot-bellied pig. Small pig, that is its name. Pot-belly, maybe it has a small belly, I don't know. But then even that pig needs some muddy water to go and roll in once in a while. It is not happy otherwise. Even the pig that you keep at home, and then there are all these people who have a special toothbrush. They brush the teeth of the pig, and then they will clean it and do it. They keep it very clean, all these things. Even that, at the end of the day, it starts to squeal. Why? Because it wants to rub itself in the grime and the slime. So they have to make a muddy water little trough. Trough means this kind of a wooden or a metal thing. Bathtub, pig-sized bathtub they have to make. And then what? It will throw the slime everywhere. When once it jumps into it, falls into it, and everywhere the slime goes viral. It goes everywhere, it rolls in it, and then what? Because it is affectionate with you, then it will want to come sit on your lap. Pet pig. It will want to sleep next to you on the bed, like a dog. So, this is the second option. And this pig imagery has an abiding presence in Vedanta Shastra, because Panchadashikara also uses it, where I think the last verse of chapter 4, I don't have the book here, but I will look it up and tell you tomorrow. The last verse of chapter 4, Dvaita Viveka, maybe the last or the second last verse of chapter 4 will say the same analogy comes there also. So so when I revel in what? Anya doshe, anyasya doshe harshaha. Harshaha, that when I delight in other people's misery, in other people's complaints, in other people's shortcomings, when I delight in their misery, in their shortcomings, then what am I like? A pig. I am like a pig. So, geha kitehe. So, geha kitehe kimaste. How come I am like this? How come I am like this pig? And then, so it is exactly like this pig-like quality which rolls in not just slime and grime, but sometimes its own excrement or the excrement of other animals. It rolls in that. And why it finds delight in that, we don't know, but it's an apt example for reveling in other people's gossips and shortcomings and all that. This is called aversion therapy. Yeah. So sometimes, for these, what are they called? Sex offenders and all that, they will repeat offenders. What do? They show the picture of a beautiful woman, because that's where the addiction is. And then when that fellow is going, where are you, on the screen, then soon after that they will show some sludge, sewage water they will show. So then the idea is something wonderful is shown, and next to that something disgusting is shown, so that the attraction for that wonderful, whatever you considered, the person considered wonderful, goes away because of its association with the horrible thing. Where did they learn from? From the Shastra. This aversion therapy also came from Shastra alone. And so here the Shastra, Panchadashikara also tells this. Somewhere else also it is there, I forgot. But then here also very clearly it says this geha kitehe, like of the pig, like the joy of the pig. Geha kitehe, what goes with geha kitehe? Harshaha. Geha kitehe harshaha. Iva tava harshaha. Or if he is talking about himself, mama harshaha. So my delight is like the pig's delight. The delight of the pig in finding something disgusting to lie in and to roll around in is like my delight in other people's misery and other people's complaints. This is my delight, if that is the option. And then what? Then there is a prayer. What is that prayer? Ha. Ha means alas. So what am I like now? Am I like the bee or am I like the pig? No, here you have to see. So if he was like the bee, he would not be saying alas. Yeah, alas, I am like the bee. Does it make sense? What is he like here? Pig. Yeah, nobody is like the bee. We have to become like the bee. And the habit is so entrenched that we don't even notice it. So we have to become like the bee. What are we like? The pig. I know we don't want to say that. We don't want to call ourselves pigs. It's bad enough other people calling you a pig, but it's bad enough calling oneself a pig. But nonetheless, the reality is such that we do not often revel in the good qualities of another. What do we revel in? In the bad qualities of another. Rolling around like a pig. And so therefore, alas, alas, me, ishaha, oh my Lord, alas, ayyo, kada vigalet. When will this tendency melt, resolve, dissolve? Oh Lord, you have to help. Because without your help, because otherwise why to talk to Ishvara? Needing help. Oh Lord, oh Goddess, you alone have to help here. Without your help, kada vigalet saha. When will this tendency, what is the tendency? To be like the pig and not like the bee. When will it resolve? When will it dissolve? When will it actually go? When will this tendency go? And only it's in your hands now, because what did I do? I have solidified like some kind of a what's its name? Like petrified. When the tree becomes a rock. Oh, tree can become rock? Yes. Fossilized tree. It's called petrified. Petra means rock, stone. So petrified means that which has become a stone. Petrified is English tvi pratyaya. That which wasn't a stone has become stone. Petrified, made into a stone. What was it before? A vibrant, alive tree. Now what it is? A stone with the impression of the little pieces of the tree. That's how they say this is a petrified trunk. This is a petrified, in the United States, there is a whole national park called, I don't know where it is, somebody might know, petrified forest. The whole forest, which is now in the form of what? Rocks, due to some volcanic activity or something. I haven't visited, I just saw the sign driving somewhere, that's all, that's how I know. So, petrified forest. So, all these tendencies, they are not loose, they are petrified. They have become a rock. And how hard it is to make that melt. It has solidified in me as me. The tendency of fault finding, the tendency of laughing at other people's misfortune, the tendency of complaining about everybody, the tendency of avoiding looking at my own doshas, the tendency of avoiding looking at other people's gunas. All these things have become petrified in me. They have developed calluses. Calluses means, through, let's say if somebody does, what is that called? Padayatra. Padayatra from Rishikesh to, where do they go? Badrinath. You do Padayatra, then what happens to the feet? You go without shoes. Padayatra without shoes. Barefoot pilgrimage you do. Then what happens to the feet? They harden. All the skin on the feet hardens. It develops what is called calluses. And so that is how these tendencies are not soft, so that they can be given up. They have hardened in me. Like they have undergone a process of petrification. They are calloused tendencies, well entrenched, of long duration, calloused tendencies. And now I know I shouldn't have them. And now that you have compared me to a pig, I want to get rid of them quickly. But how? They are all solidified. How will they go? They won't go. It looks like they are here to stay. I'm hopeless. Alas, I'm hopeless. Kada means when. When means it is impossible. I don't know when it will happen. Kada eshaha vigalet. How will this go? This calloused, and calloused also means what? Underneath the calluses, what is there? A soft heart. The heart, for the sake of its protection, has developed this petrification, a layer of petrification. And that layer is the hard-hearted exterior of who? Everybody. Everybody, without exception. Why? This is the order. This is the order of Bhagavan. And we have seen this. That is why it is called unconscious. Unconscious means, it is the unconscious mind means what? I am not aware of it. That's why it's called unconscious. If I were aware of it, why would it be called unconscious? It would be conscious. It's unconscious. It's the shadow side of the mind which I myself don't know. So there is a big part of me that I don't know. And what part is it? It is truncated. It is not fully grown up. It is there in the form of almost like a baby. But it's a dangerous baby. Why? It's got mustaches. Ooh, something wrong. What's wrong with this baby? It's got mustaches. Then you look closer. It's got a dagger in one hand, offensive. And then it has a shield in the other hand, defensive. It also has a name. What's its name? Apasmara. Apasmara means the one who haunts through memory. Smaryate, the one who haunts through repeated revisualization and reliving of an uninterrogated past. A past that has not been made obvious, a past that is there, and it's an unhealed, unprocessed past. Apasmara. This is Apasmara. Where is he? Under Nataraja, under various forms of Lord Shiva. So first you think Nataraja, Lord Dakshinamurti is stepping on a baby. Oh no! What's wrong with Bhagavan? How can it be the Lord that is stepping on a baby? It's no baby. It hasn't grown up emotionally, but otherwise it is there. It is exercising a thing. And then the right foot is the foot of the Lord stands for knowledge. So the right foot of knowledge is gently placed on the body or the head sometimes of this apasmara. Heel, pun intended. H-E-A-L, H-E-E-L also. That's what you tell the dog when you take the dog for a stay near the heel. Say heel means stay with me. So here the Lord's foot, the foot of Vedanta, is on the head or the body of this apasmara, the unconscious mind. That's the only way it can unravel itself and heal. So the unconscious mind is at the root of all this dosha darshanam, all this fault finding. How? Because in the beginning, the baby is not born with calluses around its heart. No. Baby is not born with a stone wall around the heart. That comes later. Baby is born soft, vulnerable, loving. It will go to anybody in the beginning part of its life. Whoever holds it, it will go. Why? Because total helplessness has to be compensated by total trust. This is the order of the Lord. Trust has to be there. What option does it have? No, you look funny, I don't trust you. If it says that, it won't be fed. It has to trust. It is the total trust. And this is not needed in other animals. Baby elephant is born, because nowadays we have all these cams. Elephant cam, giraffe cam, eagle cam, cat cam, dog cam, all these things. So, if you have a lot of free time, you can keep on looking at the camera to see the giraffe being born, to see the baby hippo being born, all these things. And then, when you see these animals being born, what do? They don't lie down and wait for, mother to breastfeed. No. They don't say, oh, no, I'm going to be dependent on the mother for at least 5-6 years. No. Immediately they stand up. And if they don't stand up, you see the baby elephant, if it doesn't stand up, all the matriarchs will come, all the mother elephants will come and nudge it. Come on, because it's dangerous. It cannot join the herd and walk. Most animals get up and walk as soon, few minutes after they are born. Only the human baby is useless, yes? Totally useless. And then what? When the parents register it for Aadhaar card number, social security number at this age, at a tiny age, well, what is this? So it's the most insecure thing is having a security number, 10 digits long. This is ridiculous. It can't turn around, it can't flip over, it can't sit up, it can't eat, it can't drink, and everything same cry. The parents have to use parishesha nyaya, meaning, okay, nappy has been changed, and then food also has been given. Now must be having stomachache. This is what is called residue, the logic of residues. What else is possible? And so, like this it grows up. And that total trust in the caregivers, it has to have total trust, and the total trust turns into Shobhana Adhyasa. What is Shobhana Adhyasa? A positive value given to something which does not have it. Mother is God. Oh my God, she can walk, she can talk, and she somehow knows when I am hungry. Father is God. As soon as he holds me, I feel safe, I feel wonderful. And it is wonderful in their presence, I feel good. As soon as they go away, I start crying. They must be gods. Because I don't see them cry, only I am crying. The baby thinks like this. Because the baby's brain is not developed. It thinks that's all it thinks, that's all it can know what to do. And the baby thinks like this. They must be gods. And oh, how wonderful, How nice that they are here. This is why I am, they love me. Of course they love me. And then I have to just stick to them and adore them. If I stick to them and I am worshipful and adore them, however it thinks, then everything, I will be secure. Everything will be all right with my little world. And my little heart will be safe. My little body will be safe. My mind will be safe. They know what to do. I don't know what to do. Total surrender. This is called Sharanagati. There is no Sharanagati more than the newborn's surrender to its parents. Then as it grows up, the brain is not taking a vacation, brain is also growing up. Then it sees, oh, this mother is what? Very appreciative one day, and the other day what? Very critical. Father is, loving, but kind of absent. Where did he go? What is it? Because you see, the children, this is how they want attention. The child will do something silly, jump off a table, and then the parents are relaxed and they find it cute. Oh, did you do that all by yourself? Oh, how sweet. And he does it again and again, and the parents are happy, wonderful. Next day, they are having some worry. They are upset. They have had a fight between them, or they are not seeing eye to eye. But they are not going to confide all this in the child. They are just annoyed, irritable, stressed, tired, anxious. Next day also the child, what does it think? I'm going to make them happy. How? I'm going to get some attention by doing what I did yesterday. Yesterday what I did, how much they laughed, how much they clapped. And this time also the child jumps off the table. What's wrong with you? You're not a child anymore. Oh, yesterday I was a child. Today I'm not a child anymore. It's confused. It's totally confused. What's wrong with you? Go do something. Play with your toys. Don't bother us. Why? Because we have to fight. So we don't have time for you. We have to fight, or we have to solve this problem, or we have our own drama. We are not interested in your drama. Don't bring drama here. Go be with your toys. How many times have I told you not to jump? Well, the child thinks, not really, you haven't told me that at all. Yesterday you were delighting in my antics. What happened? The child is thoroughly confused. This inconsistency in attention and inconsistency in rules. One day it is okay to do this. Another day, how dare you? This is what it is. This is what goes all over the world in the name of what? Parenting. This is parenting, supposedly. And same thing the people do also with their dogs. I knew some people who had this dog, what is that called? Obedience school. So I said, oh really, you can make the dogs obedient? And they said, no, it's actually for the people. Yeah. It's not for the dogs at all. Dogs are very, very predictable. They are confused because of the people. I said, how do you mean? And then the person explained, it was a couple doing it, and the man explained that one day the master is in a good mood and says, oh come on, you can sit on the bed, come on, you can sit on my lap. And the dog sits on the bed, dog sits on the lap, dog rolls around and does other what it thinks are cute things, and then the owners laugh. And then another day, how many times have I told you not to climb on the bed? I'm training you to sleep there. It is confused. So actually it's an obedience school for dog owners, not for the dogs. And I wish there was something like that for parents also. There isn't. So the child grows up with the trust slowly eroding. This is what is called the formation of the unconscious mind. This was all totally from the Shastras. We see this in the Mandukya Karika, all this will come. But then Freud got the credit for it, as everything. As with every branch of knowledge, the credit goes to some other civilization. So here all this was talked about. All this is talked about not just in the Prakarana Granthas, but also in the Upanishad. Also in the Upanishad, we see a lot of psychology, and the connection between Vedanta and psychology was a topic that was very, very, very dear to our Pujya Swamiji, and something he constantly reiterated. And there is no better text that deals with the unconscious mind as Doshapariharashtakam, because this is where it takes us back to the root of our own problems. What is the root? The unconscious mind. And the unconscious mind is formed from age 1 to 4. By 4 years old, the unconscious mind is already formed. What is the raw material of the unconscious mind? The raw material of the unconscious mind is the inability to deal with inconsistencies. The child's brain is not developed to deal with scoldings and sometimes what? Even beatings. It doesn't know how to understand this God, this person who I revered and worshipped as God, suddenly is being so mean to me. So then what does it do? It does many things. With some classic responses to this situation of the erosion of trust with the primary caregivers, we can talk about. What is that? First one, it thinks the parents are still gods, but then I am the one getting scoldings. I must be wrong. I am bad. This is one particular scenario. There can be more than one scenario, but we are just talking of ideal types. Or it can say, the parents are bad, and if the parents who are so close to me are bad, then the whole world is bad. This gives rise to a relentless search of perfection. And then the third possible response is to do what? Is to say that there is something wrong. And when is there something wrong with a situation? Because how did they break my trust? Because I was not vigilant enough. I should have guarded my heart. I should have been vigilant. I should have not let them do this. I should have not let them do that. So the child develops a hard heart based on the distrust. The distrust becomes the covering for the heart, and then there is no more trust, and the whole life goes like this. These are not watertight categories. Sometimes all three of them are there. Sometimes two are there. Sometimes 4 or 5 may also be there. I am just talking of garden variety coping mechanisms. Those coping mechanisms are the calluses on the heart which lead me not to trust anymore, A, and then B, to keep on rehearsing the same calloused and patterned responses with regard to the Jagat, with regard to myself, and with regard to other people. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi